Here's the thing. Overweight and obesity can lead to very serious health consequences down the road, even life-threatening ones. Now, in this video, we're going to expand on overweight and obesity, the ways we define it, some of the consequences of it, and the most important thing of all, what you can do about it. Hey there, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor, and this channel is dedicated to helping you master your health with the right moves. So let's first understand a little bit of the definitions of overweight and obesity and how we think about this in the medical speak. So of course, a lot of people are familiar with the concept that being overweight or obese is when there's a lot of fat accumulated on your body. And then we consider weight loss as the process where we're trying to decrease the amount of fat on our body. So sometimes people can get kind of confused about this because weight loss in this sense would be about losing fat, not losing lean tissue. So this is where this conversation can become a little bit nuanced. Obesity and overweight are not defined by a specific number on the scale. It's all relative to the proportion of the mass you have on your body. So this is why we use a calculation called the body mass index, or the BMI. Now on the screen, you're going to see this calculation listed, and it's something that a lot of us are probably familiar with at this point if we've been going to the doctor for several years. One of the things we do at the doctor's office is getting weighed, and then in the computer system, this calculation is done and it's usually put in our medical chart. Now, why do we care about it? Because according to the BMI number, there's different risks associated with the different levels in terms of health consequences later on. But I want you to think about this in a much more simple way. You don't need to do math to know where you're at. Think about how you fit into your clothes. If you've ever gone through the experience of gaining weight, you might notice that your clothes don't exactly fit the same, or maybe you even have to buy bigger clothes. That's often a really key indication that something in your weight has changed. Now, it's not true that every situation is because of lifestyle-related factors from fat accumulation. It is possible that there is something underlying in your health going on to cause that. Maybe you have a thyroid issue. If you have to take steroid medications, that can often lead to adiposity or an increase of fat mass. But most commonly, folks are dealing with increased fat mass on their body due to lifestyle-related factors. Now, we need to exactly break down what we mean by lifestyle-related factors if we're going to have this conversation straight up. So everybody likes to say that the primary cause of accumulating fat is an energy imbalance, where the intake of calories is exceeding the expenditure of calories. In other words, calories in is more than calories out. And that fundamentally is true. I'm not here to say it's not true. It is. But the picture is so much more nuanced than that. Now, for a deeper dive into that concept, I have an entire playlist up here about weight loss and how to think about it. So make sure to check out those videos after if you're interested. But is it just about calories in, calories out? Well, here's what I believe the real enemy is here. And it's something that I like to call our convenience lifestyle. So picture our modern lifestyle today. We have all of these things delivered to us. We can get in the car. We can go anywhere without really moving our bodies much. But here's some of the other issues that are part of the convenience lifestyle. A lot of folks struggle with access to healthy foods, or they don't have safe spaces to exercise in their communities. Well, here's the problem. Often when people are in urban environments, for example, there are not good, healthy grocery stores in reach of them. And then what happens is the food that is provided is often fast food or gas station food, very processed and packaged foods that might last on the shelf for several months, which we just know are not that healthy for us. But if that's all you have access to, no doubt when you're hungry, that's the most convenient stuff for you to eat. And if you're in a situation where you don't have a safe space for exercising, or even going for a walk, how difficult is it going to be to get that exercise in? Is it so simple to take your 10,000 steps if you live in a community with no sidewalks? It is honestly shocking to me how many communities in the US don't even have safe spaces for people to take a walk. This is really difficult. And of course, it makes it super convenient to rely on our cars to get anywhere we need to go. Of course, decreasing the ability for us to get movement in our days. And then we add to it our obsession with delivery. I know how convenient things like Amazon are. I, of course, use it myself. I'm part of the modern world, but we need to appreciate that the more we rely on delivery of anything, the less movement we're getting in our lives. For grocery shopping, for example, This is a simple way to get more steps into your day. You have to, yes, usually drive to the grocery store, but then you can park in the parking lot, you walk inside and you're pushing a cart. And for a lot of older folks, this is one of the best ways that they can add cardiovascular exercise into their days. They have a shopping cart that they can lean on for support. They're required to push a little bit of the weight, which is actually really good for their muscles. So you can imagine that if we're getting everything delivered now, we're just eliminating all of that opportunity for movement. And we know that movement and continuous exercise throughout our lifetime is super important for regulating a healthy weight. It becomes almost impossible if you don't have the opportunity to move your body. And now it's one thing to think about how convenient that might be in the moment to save some time, but imagine relying on that for 40 years. You can appreciate how that's going to accumulate into a problem later on. So we need to then address head on what are some of these consequences of weight gain and obesity. We know now from a lot of research that overweight and obesity can lead to some serious health consequences, and it can absolutely be devastating for several different organ systems. It can lead to heart disease, it can lead to diabetes, it can lead to kidney diseases, it can lead to liver diseases, you name it. There are so many consequences of being overweight in the long term that is just so avoidable if we're able to maintain a healthy and balanced weight. But it's not just about these physical issues. There are serious psychological consequences of being in this condition. It can be a huge downer to not be able to perform certain activities like you used to be able to. Maybe you're somebody like me who just loves nature, and seeing sunrises and sunsets is something that just lights you up. Well, if you're no longer able to manage going on a walk for a couple of miles, potentially on uneven surfaces, including hills, you might not get to see that incredible sunrise on that vista of that mountain peak that's so famous in your neighborhood. It is no far stretch of the mind to appreciate now how things like depression can be linked to obesity. Now, if you're finding this video useful so far, please subscribe to this channel, because I am here to dedicate my time to help equip you with the tools you need to stay as healthy as possible for the long term. So now for the good news. The truth is that overweight and obesity are totally manageable issues, and they are better managed through prevention, which means we avoid them from the get-go. So how can you do this starting today? Well, the first thing is to adopt a healthy eating regimen. Now, there is not one formula for the best way to eat for weight loss. It's about finding what works for you. But I'll just share with you my favorite approach, which is the Mediterranean diet and lifestyle. I think it is one of the most balanced eating approaches that has been working for several different communities for hundreds, if not thousands of years. The recipes are delicious and they're so full of nutrition. They're easy and they're tasty, and that's what makes it sustainable. I have tons of content on this channel, many videos dedicated to how to think through approaching this type of eating, what kinds of ingredients you need to eat, tricks of the trade, things to avoid like mistakes, etc. So make sure to check out my other content if you're interested in learning about the med diet. But it's not just about diet. There is another side of this coin, and it's about getting enough exercise. Which kinds of exercise? Well, I like to think about this in two different areas. There's the cardiovascular exercise, the kind that gets your heart pumping. This is from things like swimming, dancing, bike riding, jogging or running, rock climbing, etc. But then there's also resistance training, things that are causing you to push weight against your body. So classically, this is going to be lifting weights in the gym, but it really doesn't have to be. There are other types of resistance training that I encourage you all to start enjoying as soon as possible, because it makes things a lot more fun in life. Not to mention, it is one of the best ways to decrease your risk of injury in the long term. Now, how else can you approach managing and maintaining a healthy weight? Well, this is to track your progress. What gets measured gets improved. This is true for pretty much anything in life, and the same is true for weight loss. Well, possibly one of the best things to consider is to start a little weight loss journal. Track yourself, see where you're at, give yourself notes. And you can always seek advice from a professional. This could be a fitness trainer, a doctor, or even a friend or family member that you think can help you out. Checking in with yourself can be one of the scariest things, but it also can be life-saving. And this list of things you can do would not be complete without also recommending seeking the professional help from someone like a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a weight loss coach. There are so many amazing professionals out there who are specialists in this area. There are even some incredible apps now that are going to be hand-holding, helping you step by step along the way, giving you constant feedback and thoughts for how you can improve. So make sure to get that support you need. Nobody needs to be doing all of this on their own. So now I have to ask, what things are you doing to maintain a healthy weight or engage in weight loss already? What has been working for you and what parts are the hardest? We are all here to support each other and to improve our outcomes. And the best way to do that is with community support. So make sure to check out the comments below, engage with each other. I promise you it's going to be rewarding. And yes, I do read all the comments. Now, if you found this video helpful so far, please like it and share it with somebody you think could benefit from this information. My goal is to help equip as many of you as possible with hands-on practical tips and tools for how you can get started staying as healthy as possible. And ideally, healthy as possible for as long as possible. And I want to help you all improve your longevity. Now, for a lot more in-depth information and practical approaches to healthy eating and living, I have a ton of more info on this channel that I think you're going to love. Jump into those videos. I'll see you in there.